Hello, guys, and welcome to my live today. We have a special live stream because we won't be doing try hack me. Rather, we will code Flappy Bird. But yeah, I'm trying to set up OBS. Sorry, I didn't do this before. If I do it like this, then I close it and open the VS Code again. For some reason, VS Code doesn't get displayed as available window capture. Maybe that's just a oh, yep, it's here. Perfect. Now, hopefully you could also see my window. Let's add browser. Okay, and with yep, localhost, localhost. Guess that's okay. So, because I didn't go live. Wait, I need to close this here. Close this. Go here. Okay, okay. Trying to set up it again. Let's go localhost, but port 5500. Let's go with a browser. Trying to make a display here. And maybe just set up localhost instead. Okay. Yep, so it works now. You guys can barely see it, right? But that's because it's not done the right way. Yeah. We'll have it like this, I guess. Now let's try to improve it. Well, first of all, I don't understand why the positioning of the background. Oh, it's background. Background. Now let's see. It's a lot better now. But base is still fixed, and I need it to be, I don't know, top 50%. Let's try this. Will it work? Oh, it does actually. It does. I need it to be smaller. In fact, how do I make it smaller but repeat it many times? How do I make my base element be repeated many times and be on the bottom, because it's the floor, and currently it's definitely not working correctly. So VS Code suggests that I set bottom 0, which makes sense. Left 0, width, wow, background image, repeat X. Yeah, so because I'm trying to restrain myself from vibe coding, I don't want to, yeah, vibe code. I think I might change it to div. Let's see the argumentation behind that. I can see that your base is currently positioned 50% from the top. Yeah, we want to position it in a bottom, that makes sense. And repetition, we just want to have a background image. Uses base image as a background. Makes sense. Repeats image horizontally across the width. Auto maintains aspect ratio while filling the height. So background size, it has it has like two parameters, two values, auto, and 100%. With 200% makes the element twice as wide for seamless scrolling. I wonder if we really need these last two. Mm. Mm-hmm. You know what? Let's do it like this. Let's change it to div, and let's just get rid of this. Let's go with div, give it ID, um, base, and do this. Background, URL, and it was, I guess, in assets, Flappy Bird, and it was base PNG. Let's see if it does even work. Doesn't, which it doesn't. Because it's background image. Okay, try this. Doesn't work still. Base PNG, let's try it like this. Still doesn't work. But if we remove this one, still does not work. Base PNG. Yeah. Not fun. Maybe we should just remove this one. Still no difference. What if you just copy what it suggests? Let's just copy now. But it doesn't work. The URL doesn't work. Of course, we want to change it to bottom. Left 0. That's bullshit, mate. I was writing it in the meantime whilst you were suggesting. Okay, so spaces should be encoded. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And let's just, you know what? Let's try to encode these ourselves. Still doesn't work. What if we apply these quotes? Doesn't work. Still doesn't work. Wonder what the problem is. We clearly have base PNG. Oh, that's because we don't have any. Okay. Mm-hmm. Width doesn't work. Background size auto 100%. But dog, it doesn't work. Why doesn't URL? Why is my image not displayed? That doesn't make sense. Still has no height. Do we need height? I mean, no, I don't. What is what does it mean? Zero transform translate. Hex. Don't really understand all this. Let's not apply things we don't know. I hate when this. Why do we have this repeated? Undo. We won't have this repeated. We'll have height, let's say, like this. And now it's here. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Now we want this to be moving. We want this to be moving. How do we make it move? What if we did, for example, like this? What? Did you see it? It's like we changed. What if we did it like this? What's happening, man? Background size. Let's Google this flag. Background. Oh. Background. Fuck. Can I type this properly? Background size. CSS. Let's see. Why is it so big? Background size property. No, I actually want MDN web docs. I kind of like this one. Background size contain. Now repeat. Size 30%. So it tries to cover what? 30. Yeah, I still don't understand what that property does. Formal definition. Cover or contain. The width of the image. Height becomes auto. First value, the width. Second value, height. So we wanted it to cover the whole height. What if we did two autos? Oh, no. Let's go with two out autos. And we see it's actually not perfect here. Well, let's go with full width and with full height and full width. Okay. Then what else do we see? Multiple backgrounds. 6px auto contain. What does it mean? We have some global values we can set. We can set just the width. We can also set some value. Yeah, so we can manipulate it as we want. Then we want it to be repeated optionally. But since it's already fine, I guess we are good with animating it, and we can translate. Then we need a keyframe. Scroll base. We'll do it 0.3 seconds. And what else? Not really strong with these. Linear. 3 seconds. And linear. Let's try it like this for now. Then define a keyframe. Scroll base. And do it like this. Not sure how to. Oh, it's actually animation tag. Animation, scroll base, animation tag. Let's see. 1 second infinite. Ease in. Linear is continuous speed. Ease in. Ease in out. Yeah, ease in out speeds up. What if I use ease? Always forget about these. Ease in. Let's ask Gemini about it. Tell me about eases in CSS. So, easing in CSS, known as timing functions, controls the speed curve of a CSS transition or animation. They dictate the rate. Oh, wow. The most common of easing functions are based on cubic Bezier curve, which uses 4 points to define the curve. P0 is always 0, 0, and P3 is always 1, 1. So you only specify 2 control points. Okay. The x-axis represents time 0 to 1, and y-axis represents the progress of the animation. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cubic base, yeah. So let's try to understand the keywords first of all. I don't understand the cubic base function for now. Linear progresses at in constants, ease in out slow starts slowly, speeds up and ends slowly, ease out, decelerates, ease in, accelerates, and ease default. What is it? So it's like ease out but more balanced, right? Just like ease, I meant. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. X1 and X2 should be between 0 and 1. The Y values can be outside this range to create effects like bouncing. So you only specify the two control points. The X represents time and Y the progress of animation. So when reaching this, the progress of animation should be 1, which is easy, right? It's so slower than usual. And when reaching what? Reaching the same point? Oh, maybe it's after this. What? I don't really understand. Anyways, do we need to understand this? But I really want to. I probably don't need, but I want to. How is it possible? How is it possible that x1 equals x2 here? Explain it. Let's see if anyone's watching the stream. No, no one's watching. It is perfectly possible and a fundamental part of the way CSS using functions curves are defined. The cubic Bezier coordinate system. Trying to understand this. At y1, p1 at y1 pulls the beginning of the curve very quickly toward x. Since the curve starts at 0, 0 and is pulled to this, the initial movement is slow. At y1 pulls the middle and of the curve much more steeply. Let's Google cubic Bezier. So it's defined by these points somehow, but it's actually not that. I'm not really sure what these points are about. We have some points, but I thought these are the points under the curve, whilst it looks like it's like a gradient of two of these. Yep, so we just so we set up two derivatives here. One attached to the starting point, one attached to the ending point, and somehow we are trying to, and cubic Bezier is trying to, to connect these points, I guess. This is what happens. Here is the time, and here's the progress. Yeah, I understand it now. So we don't set up the curve itself, rather, yeah, did you see that? Did you see that? We set up the derivatives. If we do it like this, it will be linear. It's slow, it's slow, it's slow, slow as fuck. Did in 3 seconds. Okay. Okay. Okay, I understand it. Moderately. I moderately understand it. Anyways, that's not the main point. How do we define the scroll base? Keyframe. Let's see. From, how does it work? From to. So we start from this and we want to translate it to this. Interesting. Let's do this to translate it to X. From transform slate X. But I guess we want to move it. What's wrong with you? Keyframes slide in. Keyframes. And two. I don't understand what's going on here. Probably because of that, right? Yeah. Two, transform, translate x. This should be 0, I guess. 0 to 100%. Let's see if it works. Okay, it kind of works. It works, but we also want... Okay, okay, it animates, but I want my base image to sort of... I don't know how to explain it verbally. I want it to connect, but like a circle, you know? Like sinusoidal wave. I want it to be like this. I'm not sure how to achieve it with CSS to connect to itself so that my base is continuous. Let's see what it says. I don't think that should be really difficult. So it will modify a bunch of stuff as it always likes to do. Hate when it modifies everything. So for some reason it wants me to have 200 width. I don't want to have 200 width. Infinite. Oh, maybe that's a key buzzword. Well, let's undo all the changes and let's do infinite, infinite. Okay, okay. And what if we take this further and to get background repeat x? I don't see anything was changed. What if we change it to move just the half of it? Still doesn't help us much. What if we change its width? Still does not help. I meant this one to be made. Oh, now suddenly it works. I guess that's because... Wait. Why did it work? What if I give just, I don't know, 50%? Then it does animate. That's because it starts to animate again just when it reaches the end of the screen. That's a smart animation. Yeah, that's really intelligent. And I suppose if I do it like 10 seconds, do you notice anything? I do, but slightly. I want to speed up at the end. No, I don't want to speed up at the end. I guess the way to make it less noticeable would be to fit a greater width, for example, one. Yeah, honestly, at this point, it's barely, you can barely see it. But if we give it this one, yeah, now it's good. It's good, man. Okay, and what else? I think I want it to move as well, but I guess animate, animation, scroll base 30 seconds, linear, infinite. Yeah, it's cool, though I want it to be repeated with, I don't know, how do I make my container to be repeated? Okay, now I want to, okay, now I want my background to move 3 times slower, but also be continuous. I guess if I apply the same tactic with spreading image to 200% and animating it to 50%, the image quality would be bad. So I want to repeat it probably, but how do I do this in a way that does not squeeze the image? Did you guys see it? Something. Oh, that's because of this. Repeat X. So it also wants to change it to the div. Well, let's do this. And scroll background is another image. It wants to scroll 100%, but I don't think that will work, honestly. Why does it work? Because the height is auto, and no, the width is auto, and the height is 100%. No, the image height width is auto, but the width is 100%, and we repeat it. Like, man, this is so interesting. Didn't you find it interesting? Let's keep this change because I slightly misdid it. And let's undo these changes and check if we can do these ourselves. So, yeah, even now it's completely enough. But I guess, what if we change it to 100% as well? Background repeat X. Why is my background? I know this is not how it should work, but I still want to explore it. Why why isn't my background. It's visible. Why does the scroll? Why does the base go out of screen? Has no background image set. Oh, that makes sense. Base goes out of screen. It's 2D. Okay, so completely moves off the screen whilst creating a seamless loop. But how do I say it? But why do we need repeat x then if it doesn't help to prevent our base going off the screen? Yeah, that's a really good question because it's supposedly it would try to repeat itself as many times as needed to stretch to the full screen, but it's not the case as we can see. If you use 100%, the entire element, including all its content, would move completely off screen. With repeats X, with 100% stays normal screen width, background position X only moves the background image pattern inside the element. Oh, okay, okay. That's smart as fuck. That's smart as fuck. Because we will not move the element itself. Yeah, I'm really trying to figure out how it works underneath. So underneath the background, the repeat X, I guess it stretches out to all the elements, right? To fill all the elements. But you need to reach out to some documentation about this. How does repeat X CSS property work? Shorthand, repeat, no. Background, repeat X, repeat and only repeat X. Now repeat just this. So it tries to fill out the whole, okay, round. Okay. Space, no repeat. Space, repeat. Mm-hmm. So it will stretch out to all the difference. But if we move the element itself, it doesn't matter if we stretch out the this thing, really. Right? I guess I understand how it works. So we sort of get an infinite movement to the left. But as let me clarify. But as a result of our action, of our keyframes, the image would infinitely grow wider because repeat x grows wider. Repeat x forces an image to grow wider as it moves left to fill out the whole space, the, the space left in a container element. Doesn't want it cause any bugs. Create static infinite pattern. The browser pre-renders the image repeated across infinite horizontal canvas. Background position X, just viewport window. Wait guys, I want to open the window because it's really hot in my room. Okay, back to this. We can see, oh fuck man, it instantly became so cold. I'm not sure whether I prefer it as hot as it was or as cold as it will be in a second. So repeat X creates a static infinite pattern. The browser pre-renders the image repeated across an infinite horizontal canvas. Background position X is just a viewport window. It controls which part of this pattern you see. Oh, I guess, you know what? I guess it has some, like, I don't know, sort of a list of images. The image doesn't grow. The browser just stores all possible combinations of it inside inside some storage, and then repeatedly senses them. Guess it works like this. Not quite. Stores one image, Yeah, so it's somehow, yeah, I won't think how it works deep down. I believe I understand it slightly to the way I need. Maybe I don't need to understand it that much. Let's undo all changes. Let's go not translate x, but, or maybe I should have translated x. Wait, I wanted background position to be changed, but, well, how to animate it? Man, I swear to God, whenever I change what what Copilot did, I feel like an idiot because just a second later, I'm stuck. Background image X, background size X, size. How was that going? Background position X. Okay, perfect. Background position X. Background position X. Let's see. A yep. And translate X. Let's set it to. It doesn't move. Why doesn't it move? Dude. Maybe 50. No, that's not what I meant. Maybe 50 like this. Still, I meant 50 here. Let's try 50 here. And it got repeated. Without this, it wouldn't be repeated, I guess. Without repeat X. Let's try this out. No, it's still repeated. Interesting, right? So why is it repeated, man? It's so confusing. Background size 15. Um why? But if I change it to 10%, it's still not like I expected it to be. But if I change it to 5%, it's only smaller. Why is it repeated? Why is my image repeated over the base? I am experimenting with that so that it doesn't get confused. Because if it gets confused, that would be devastating. Let's make the base image, yep. But why? Why does it do this? Man, stop fucking joking. Oh, okay. Because the default is right. Yeah, let's set it as it was. And we can see translate X does not apply to this. We should instead apply just the percentages. So we start from 0, and then we go to minus 100, and we want to scroll it. And yep, this one is still wrong. We want to scroll it to minus 100%. Let's see. Fuck. Why? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why doesn't my base animate? You know, I'm really doing it longer than, for example, my university mates, right? But I think that's a proper way because it makes you actually learn what do you do instead of, oh wait, because I fucking apply a weird keyframes. That's why. Yeah, so now it works seamless, just as I needed it to work. Okay, now this one. I need to, I want to experiment with this. I have 100% height of this, and I have a background size. Well, let's try to set up, let's just, for example, this. Is it possible? Yeah, but it becomes really stretched out. So it's not cool. Let's try to make it 10% for now. So now it becomes so little that it's barely visible. I guess this is around what's optimal. Yeah, it looks like it. But let's what? Let's try to get it auto because, it's really not that important. Do you see it being animated? Because it should, and it doesn't look like it is. Oh, what if we did it like this? I think it's good, but we could still make it a bit slower. For example, 40 seconds. Yeah, but I guess this is optimal. Or still not. 60 seconds. That's okay. That's totally fine. Okay, what else do we have? Background day PNG. Well, isn't it what we use? Because to clarify, these documents are these like these photos are not mine. These were provided from the teacher. Then we want pipe green. Then we have some birds. Yeah, so let's you know what? Let's proceed with pipe green. And we will how do we yeah, what approach do we take to make these appear on a screen? So there are certain requirements that we should do. Let's take a look on this. It's not perfectly it's not perfectly accurate, so to say. And also we will need to to flip it when we want it to be animated. When we want it to be animated, right? So there are many ways we can do this. We can either manually flip this image, or we could alternatively use CSS for manipulations or JavaScript to generate these components. Yep. Let's think about the requirements and how we could do this technically. So we want this thing to be generated, sometimes appearing from the top, sometimes appearing from the bottom. And I want it to be sometimes stretched out, and sometimes I want it to be short. I guess an optimal, yeah, and somehow I need to ensure that these bars are placed correctly. So, for example, I don't want them to be just bars on the top. I don't want these bars to be placed in the bottom. I guess I could have something like, oh, but you know what I noticed as well? In certain regions, like if you have this bar, you certainly have the opposite bar. So we can split the backgrounds onto into these, so to say, in some space and generate mm, a bar within that place, right? So we need some function to generate the position of bars. That's the first requirement, the x position. The x is enough. Then we need to generate a height of this. I think, and also the height cannot be so different from the previous one, right? That's also the important thing to notice. When we have the height, we can place, we can, I think that won't be a problem for for this thing to be placed on that region. We can so to say have some height option that tells where this tip should be, right? This one. Then we will have a constant empty space, and then we fill the other side with the opposite bar, which is like turned upside down. And we can have this, we can split it somehow, distribute these axes. Yeah, I guess that's it. That doesn't look to be so difficult. The only question is, how do we ensure, how do we make it technically, right? How do we actually draw things? Given all the positions, how do we actually draw things? And yeah, and how do we ensure that, well, yeah, we can generate the height. I guess, I guess it should be like some height to width ratio. We need to ensure height to width ratio is not too sharp. Height to width is not too sharp because then it would be impossible to play the game. Okay, that makes sense. In this case, we can somehow store the last position of a bar that we placed. Wait a second, guys. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. Hello, viewers. I'm sorry. Sorry for that noise. Okay, so now we've been thinking how to generate this pipe. Well, let's describe it to Copilot. How do I generate the pipes properly? I thought about um spawning. Yep, like I need to spawn. How do we actually make it? How do we actually make it? We want some element. No, I guess we don't want an element. Or do we? Do we want an? No, we do want an element. We want an element, but I'm quite not sure. Or we want actually two elements. We want two elements to be. Hmm. Yeah, I think I understand how we can do this. I thought about spawning the div element that has random height and that has the height of the has the height. Yep, how do I do it properly? Well, should it be over the grass even? Let's go to some Flappy Bird because I don't actually remember it. Yeah, it's over the floor. So that makes it the pipes properly. I thought about spawning the div element representing two pipes and free space in between them. It will appear each, let's say, each 3 seconds with 1 second break when it's impossible for it to spawn, just to ensure the pipes are not too close to each other. Then I will pick a random height representing the lower height in ranges 1 to 70% of height. Let's go even with 60, I guess, representing the lower pipe height, relative height, and I will calculate the upper pipe height using the fact that the spacing between them will be constant. Let's say 20%, or let's say 15%. Then the problem is how to move the pipes and how to hmm, how to move the pipes and how to, well, how to spawn it up, how to draw them in a way that I need the upper pipe reversed upside down, and I also need to be able to change their height. Hmm. So we know for a fact we'll need some JS, and it will be game.js. Let's name it like this, and a what? But it just completes everything. Let's see. Source pipes.js. Do I need pipes.js? I'm okay with monolith file. Look at this, mate. New pipe manager. Oh, fuck. Pipe manager. 15% gap between pipes. Well, it does make more sense. It looks like. Generate random height. Okay, does make sense. Does make sense how to generate random height. Create pipe container. Um, uh, yeah, class name, viewport height. Then we need to this base height. Do we know the base height? Um, yes, it's a bit. You know what? Let's discard these changes and let's link our own JavaScript script source game.js. That's fine. Now, um, let's get back to this. So there is some class, spawn interval, cooldown time, looks logical. Then we have some container that contains these things, right? These bars. Then we have upper pipe and lower pipe. Document create element div, class name, style height, upper height. Great, and these two, I suppose, were changed. Base height, upper. No, wait, what? Upper height. So these were minus base height, minus lower height, minus gap height. Lots of height here. Wait a second, guys. In fact, I think I've done enough for this live and I will continue in private. Hopefully I can do some progress today. And if not, I'll be streaming tomorrow as well, just to finish this one. Thank you for coming. See ya.